Well, this next report revisits the files of Martin Luther King Jr., released by the Trump administration for transparency around historical assassinations. Let's take a look.
For decades, they sat in federal vaults, boxes of reports, surveillance logs, and internal memos. Now more than 240,000 pages of files tied to the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. have been declassified and released to the public. The files, posted by the Director of National Intelligence in coordination with the Justice Department, FBI, CIA, and National Archives, contain never-before-seen documents detailing the government's surveillance of King and their investigation into his murder in 1968. Many of the files focus not just on the aftermath of King's death, but on years before it, when the FBI, under Director J. Edgar Hoover, considered King a threat. They launched a wide-reaching and deeply invasive campaign to monitor and discredit him, using wiretaps, informants, and even planted misinformation. King, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, was increasingly vocal in the years leading up to his death, not only about racial justice, but also about poverty, labor rights, and the Vietnam War. That expansion of focus put him squarely in the crosshairs of political leaders and intelligence agencies alike. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4, 1968, while supporting striking sanitation workers. James Earl Ray, a fugitive at the time, pleaded guilty to the murder but later recanted, claiming he was set up. He maintained his innocence until his death in 1998. The files do not offer definitive new conclusions about who was responsible, but their release has reignited debate about Ray's role and whether a broader conspiracy was involved. In 1999, a civil jury found that King was the victim of a conspiracy involving multiple actors, including government agencies. That verdict, though non-criminal, echoed concerns the King family had voiced for years. The newly unsealed documents also revisit the depth of the FBI's efforts to undermine King's reputation during his lifetime. Memos detail surveillance in his hotel rooms, attempts to sow distrust among his allies, and efforts to paint him as a subversive figure. In a public statement, King's surviving children, Martin Luther King III and Bernice King, called the release deeply personal. They asked that the files be approached with empathy and historical awareness, not weaponized to distort their father's legacy. The document release follows a Trump-era push for transparency around historical assassinations. Earlier this year, similar records were released related to the killings of President John F. Kennedy and his brother, Senator Robert F. Kennedy. While the newly released documents may not provide all the answers, they offer a powerful reminder of the forces Martin Luther King Jr. was up against and the sacrifices he made for a more just and peaceful society. Bureau Report, DD India.